let me ask you, would you rather, get this now,
I'm listening now.
play in a national championship game and lose, or play in a lesser bowl game and win?
I would always rather win. Let's just put it that way. So I would rather win the national championship game. But, you know, I know we would always rather have an opportunity to win it. But you still want to win it, regardless. But, you know, is there a right answer to that? I don't know. I would say we want to win, but you want to win the national championship game. And the only way you're going to win it is to be in it.
Saturday night.
Trick question.
Yeah.
When you have Brody take off 50 and put on 83, what will prompt that? Is it getting Ben some reps, or is there a package that necessarily want Brody to be in at tight end?
Well, what would prompt that? Probably the first of just getting Ben some snaps, and depending on, how Brody's handling and feeling about, as well. It's a lot of work in there. Does he need some air? Does he need some time? Or but also there are some 3 tight end, situations we get in that Brody's an awful good part of that we may want to, throw a few more of those snaps in there at certain times. And he's a great guy on that edge.
You've trusted him for so long, him and Jermaine and Matt Clapp last year, in your big package and your jumbo package. When he's at center, what becomes of that big package or jumbo package? Is it gone, or are you just going to put other guys in there?
We just use Eric Mensick and some other guys. We just use some of our other guys in those positions.
What's the potential of this defense?
The potential is really high for this defense to be very good. It has a chance to be, in that when you look at I think the skill that's back, the overall ability, but also the experience. And last year we started off a little rough, and as the year went, really played pretty well and ended up creating a lot of turnovers and big plays that way. So hopefully we could start better, but this defense has a chance to be really good.
It's critical to start because of the offensive line question marks. I guess it's critical for the defense to start better, right?
Well, sure, and the quality of teams you're playing, and all of that. Defense needs to step up and play well.
Who's backing up Ryan?
Well, Austin Box, but also Ronell Lewis. We've been excited about what he's done the last couple weeks. Really has an excellent feel, and he's a guy that, though he's young, has a lot of, we call it, his coaches pop to him. He just has a lot of explosiveness, and when he hits you, you feel it. So we believe that's going to continue to mature and get better too.
Where's Reynolds at health-wise and running right now?
He's good. He looked great at practice yesterday. So we're excited to have him back, and he's trimmed up a little bit from a year ago as well, and is moving really well.
Can you give a percentage of how much you think he would play if you just had a normal game, a close game?
I can't. That's going to be a feel thing. When we're, how it is. It's when you get out there, and depending on the number of snaps, the number of how long a drive is, those kind of things. I don't know that you can really predict that.
Coach, where is Ranger at, and how many snaps you plan to play him this weekend?
DeMarcus is still a ways away, so we'll, how much he gets probably will be more limited.
Travis Lewis last year was down on the depth chart, and then sort of a game-time decision started the first game. What allowed him to play well immediately and then sort of play with that consistency the entire season? What is it about?
He's a talented guy, Travis has a lot of quickness and ability to run. He's a physical guy that likes contact, which usually makes for a good linebacker, and he's got good instincts. So he's got, really all the things you look for for a good linebacker.
Does he get the game more quickly than some others? Is there some stuff here?
Yes, he naturally feels things and has that knack to make big plays, and so yes, he processes really pretty well.
Are you playing that many freshmen out of need, or because they're so talented?
I think it's a little of both. I think overall, we are a little bit thin, but but they also, we're not going to throw. We'll stay thin if they're not ready to play. But if they're showing the ability to understand what we're asking them to do and to make plays, then we feel, hey, let's give them those chances.
Right back to Reynolds. The players just seem to feel better, more comfortable because he's there. Are his intangibles contributions in some way rival what he gives you physically?
Both, yes. It's why he's a captain. That's why he understands the defense so well, and he is very instinctive in there. The guys do feel comfortable playing with him in there.
So, Bob, are you saying that you expect that Reynolds will have to be spelled in this first game a little bit, that he won't be able to go the entire way?
Well, I didn't say that. I just said we'll see how it goes. But that doesn't mean Travis Lewis won't need spelled or Keenan Clayton as well. Those we always go in with guys ready to play in case they need it. So we'll just see.
Coach, talk about your wideouts. Is Brewell's back in the slot? How are the wideouts progressing?
They're doing well. I've noticed DeJuan Miller really in the last week or so of making more and more plays and showing up, even in our last scrimmage, and has come on, which is a positive. Adrian Tennell continues to do well. Moses is doing good. Ryan, all those guys. But we're going to need, Cameron Kinney, Jazz Reynolds, DeJuan Miller, some of these guys, to step up and give them some snaps too. If hopefully if our offense the way it's been, we have a chance. We snap it a lot and we go at a pretty good tempo. That you need these other guys to step up and make plays.
So is Broyle staying in the slot right now?
Yes, for the most part. But we also have them outside. We have them in both places.
Talk about Brandon Caleb.
Brandon Caleb also, I should have said Brandon, has been much more consistent here. And as part of that mix, definitely. He'll play a lot too.
What's the biggest improvement he's made? Is it just staying healthy?
Healthy, but also just more consistency, more competitiveness, making plays. And he's been doing it more consistently. He's showing up more.
A lot of people talk about Adrian Tennell as if, he's almost as if he's been a starter as much as they can count on him. They talk about as much as they can count on people, Adrian's right up there. Is it just that big a difference?
I think as much as anything, he's a senior and and he's been around a long time and understands the competitiveness of it all and is showing it. So I think he's just showing up more, making the big plays and competing and being a guy you can go to.
From what he's done in practice, is there anything you can compare it to? The Malcolm Kellys, the Mark Claytons, is he making plays like that?
I have a hard time. You guys have heard me say it. I have a hard time comparing guys. I don't. They're different.
But I guess I'm just asking from a productivity scale.
He's been. Yeah, he's been similar to those guys. But we haven't played a game. It's to compare him to Mark Clayton yet. I don't know that you can. That's hard to do until we see that kind of production in games.
You've got the returning Heisman Trophy winner, and you haven't had one question about him yet.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Is that unusual?
Yeah, it is. I think everyone just expects and knows the quality of player he is.
Yeah, old reliable, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the spring, he told us he wanted to become a better leader. Can you tell us any examples of maybe where you've seen him become a better leader?
I think just overall, it's just natural as you become one of the older guys on the team. It's hard to have a lot to say when you're a freshman or sophomore, and not that you can't, because guys do, but now that you've been around 3 and now he's been around 4 years, you're one of the, even if you're not a senior, you're one of the older guys. You've played a lot. It's easier to step in and say something because guys want to hear what he's thinking. Or what's on his mind, or what he thinks we need to do here in practice or in this game to win, because they have so much respect for his competitiveness and how he competes and how he plays.
Does the season he had last year lend itself to that?
Sure,
maybe credibility, guys who are following him?
Absolutely, guys have a hard time listening to a guy who doesn't make any plays or is making mistakes all the time. But again, here's someone who consistently plays at a high level and competes at a high level and makes good decisions. Sure, again, they want to know how he thinks and what's on his mind for those reasons.
Were
Todd McShay said that Jermaine Gresham was lazy.
It does. The off-season helps too, sir. I'm
Todd
sorry.
McShay said that Jermaine Gresham was lazy, wasn't a real good blocker.
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't heard that. That's Jermaine Gresham's one of the best workers we have on the team. Absolute great competitor, and I equate him in his mindset in games and how he competes to very similar to Adrian. He is a fierce competitor, loves it, and has improved his blocking. Let's be realistic. He came here as a wide receiver out of high school. So that's something that is developed as you go through, and he's had a great camp that way and blocking and working on it and improving it. So I won't say that he couldn't have improved his blocking. He could have, and I think that's one of the reasons he did want to come back, is to be a better blocker. But as far as playing hard and doing the things we ask him, he's been one of the best guys I've had here in going on 11 years.
Any concern? You got two new safeties that really have played. Quentin Carter played toward the end of last year, backing them up, two freshmen, and Trice and Devon Harris. Any concern there this first game to see how they do?
Sure. Hopefully, Q can stay healthy and play to the level he is. But, these other guys have stepped up and are playing well. I've been excited about the way these young guys have competed and, more than anything, have processed everything that we're doing and understanding where they need to be and whether it's a blitz or whether it's a base coverage. And to this formation, I need to be here, and they've handled it well. So that's exciting.